regions,
and
you are in the workshop entitled Getting to the Heart of Your Success with Traci Morrow and Doug Fitzgerald. So glad to have you here. These two have worked very, very hard. Their efforts and their hard work has been really directly from their soul and from their heart. And that's what you're going to hear about today. There's going to be a fantastic message, so please take notes. Know this, all of these presentations will be on the Coach online office on Monday. So if you don't take all the notes you want to, don't worry, because you'll be able to reference all the presentations then, okay? So I'm going to start off by introducing both these two, and then we'll have them up on stage and we'll get going. Traci Morrow is a 12-star diamond coach and also a founding coach, a former member of the Coach Advisory Board. She's a two-time elite coach and the winner of the Humanitarian Award for 2011, and she's also personally sponsored 22 Lifetime Diamonds. Big deal, very big deal. Doug Fitzgerald, another one of our founding coaches, he is a 9-star diamond coach, and he is a member of the Coach Advisory Board, winner of the CEO Award for 2011. He was the top coach in 2009. He's a 2-time Success Club Trip qualifier, and he has personally sponsored 12 Lifetime Diamonds. So let's get to it, let's get after him. So let's help me welcome Traci Morrow and Doug Fitzgerald. Please come on.
So glad that you chose to spend some time with us today. And what we really want to share with you today is something that is a really important part, perhaps the most important part of doing this kind of a business. And that is really getting to the heart of who you are to find success. And I don't mean success financially necessarily. I just mean being good at being you. And so we asked them if they wouldn't mind putting some sofas up here to kind of give you a feel of sitting in the living room with us as we just share from our hearts, really just being vulnerable in front of you, person to person, friend to friend, coach to coach, and just sharing some honest things about what makes us who we are and how we are. And hopefully our stories are going to give you little nuggets that are going to connect with you, or maybe they won't at all, but it'll make you think of something else. And as we share photos with you and situations with you, that it'll bring up pictures and things, maybe some things that you've put off for a long time looking at, and hopefully will direct a little attention, because all those things that have happened to you, that have happened to me, that have happened to Doug in our lives, is what makes us who we are, the good and the bad. And so we really want to get to the heart of your success in life, not just in this business. This is a unique training. You get lots of tips and tools from all the other coaches. With us, we're just going to be talking person to person. And there might be times when you're even like, what does this have to do with coaching? You know what it has to do with coaching? We're just people. And the people who we coach are just people. And if we can learn to be really good at being us, being a really good person, a really good version of you, then the more people are going to be drawn to you because you're going to be open and available to them. They're going to feel safe, and they're going to share something as private and personal as their weight loss journey or their health and fitness journey with someone who gets it and understands them. Because this is far beyond emeralds and diamonds and rubies. This isn't just about sons and daughters of somebody else. We're all sons and daughters of somebody else. And we're going to talk to you like that and hope that you'll receive it in that way.
One of the priorities that Traci and I it's been heavy on our hearts to make sure that we share and communicate with the network is really the heart of what this business is about and where this business started, which is helping and serving people first. And as you look at your past and as you look at the good things that happen and the bad things that happen and make you who you are, the foundation of this business is really the foundation of who you are and what your life is. If your life is crumbling, if your relationships are crumbling, if your finances are crumbling, if your faith is crumbling, this stuff doesn't matter. The business, working out and fitness and making some money doesn't matter if things are falling apart. The success of your business, the power of your business, the impact of your business will all be determined upon the foundation of who you are as a person and how you're doing. As that grows and develops, your business will grow and develop, your influence will grow and develop, and the way that you touch people's lives and help change their lives in serving them will grow and develop over time. Now, one of the things I want to do is, where is Kobe? Is Kobe still around? Kobe, come on up, man.
So, I thought, oh no, Kobe was in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's in the bathroom. Excuse me. Come on up here. Here's what as Kobe comes up, he's a representative of hundreds of Beachbody employees and workers that are here this weekend to do the very thing we talk about, which is to serve us, to provide for us, to take care of us. And Kobe, I did this before, but what is your title? Oh, you got a mic. You was using my mic before.
No,
it was kind of awkward.
I may have been more than I, but it wasn't last night. So I'm a regional sales manager for the company.
Let's hear it for Kobe. We want to thank you for what you do. We know the time, the effort, the energy that goes into this. These people, not just Kobe, but the entire staff, this is time away from their families. This is time away from their kids. It's time away from their recreation. And yeah, maybe a job, but at the same time, it is a sacrifice to serve us. So, the challenge for you is this. As you go around and see the workers at Team Beachbody all around this complex, please take the time to stop, look into their eyes, grab them and say, hey, thank you so much for being here and serving us this weekend. Can we do that?
Yes.
All right, let's hear it for Kobe.
Giving thanks. Let's give thanks to our AV guys who have been here making everything possible. We've been here for the heck we have to say. And Sandy! Sandy!
No. Get up
I know, we're kicking it off, but you know what? So many times you don't know what goes into something that you show up to.
Yeah, baby.
There's a little attitude there because she has to work with people like us. Who she's like, weeks, months in advance asking for slides, asking for what the heck we're gonna say. And we're like, we don't know. We've got plenty of time. So anyway, special thanks to Sandy, who organizes every speaker. You hear on National Coach Calls, and you may not know what Sandy Budana looks like. Isn't she fabulous?
Welcome to the National Coach Call.
She makes us all look good. She serves us in a way that is always with a smile, even when we are late turning in the stuff that we were supposed to turn in 2 weeks ago. She is an amazing part of this company. We would really be at a great loss without Sandy. So let's give it up for Sandy.
Sandy has been around with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years. She's been through the ups and downs with us. She has made a huge sacrifice. This woman is a true woman of heart, integrity, service. We love her.
Yes, we do.
We love her.
We do.
And,
Okay, you guys can stay up here.
Can we come back next year? But seriously, if you get a chance to say hi to her and talk to her, thank her, because she literally she is really the picture of sacrifice in this company. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay, let's hear it for Sandy.
Yeah, we kissed on stage one time.
Good luck, everybody. Have a great training. Bye-bye.
So glad she was here.
I know, that was perfect. Checking to make sure that we didn't run long, probably. Okay, so what is our next?
Oh.
Is it show? This is me and Doug. What were we like in first grade or somewhere around there?
Something like that.
Totally dates us.
Look at your plaid suspender things, overalls. That's cool.
So 70s, and look at Fitz with his cute little haircut.
Barber Bob.
And you have a little cowlick or something right there, but that's really cute. That's cute. Anyway, who knew those two kids growing up on opposite ends of the country would grow up to become friends and share with you how, our different perspectives on life, but also how interesting, how very similar our upbringings and our past were, and how God kind of laces that together to serve other people from a place that our goal is to help you be the best you that you can be. And that takes your permission to actually speak to you on that behalf. We may touch on some nerves. We may actually touch some things that you have spent a lifetime trying to run away from because you hate that part of you and you hate that part of your past because you wish so badly it wasn't there because you're just certain you would be over here or up here if that didn't happen. And so we're going to ask for your permission to maybe look at that in a little bit different way. We're going to ask for your permission to hear us out a little bit and see how everything that has happened in your life, the crappiest thing that has happened to you in your life, can be used as a tool for you to help more people.
I look at those pictures and I can't but think of like just the innocence, you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel.
Yeah, no
It's
idea
like
what life had in store, right?
Yeah, none. And knowing that, you know, over a 40-year period, there's the good things and the bad things. And you can choose to run from those, or you can use those. So we're excited to be able to share that with you today.
We are also excited to share with you, well, we already just said that. But basically, it's touching on all the things, both positive and painful in your life that have happened, that make you uniquely you for this moment in history, this part, where the part of the country that you live in, people who surround you, the family that you're in, believe it or not, has prepared you for this moment in time. And so as we were preparing for this, I want you to know that Doug and I have prayed for you. Every one of you. We have prayed for this message. Amen. It's not church, but you know, whatever you believe. It's nice that somebody prays for you whether you believe it or not, because it means that they're thinking something really good for you and hoping something good for you. And that's what we want for you. We came in here early. We didn't start our first session till 9. Fitz was in here earlier than me. I thought I'd give you props for that. He was in here a little bit earlier, but we came in here and sat up on this stage and on this couch and prayed for this room and for you to have a breakthrough of some sort. Something in your life that you kind of have pushed down. And everything that's happened makes you uniquely you. And there's a patchwork, like a quilt. And as Doug and I were talking, for those of you who don't know, and who's come to the TD training tour where we've gone out and trained coaches? Ooh, Team Stalker! I love it. For those of you who never came, I'm so glad because all of our jokes and stories are totally fresh to you. So it's going to be awesome. When Doug and I we're success partners. And every week we get in front of our computers for FaceTime. And we're probably on there for about 2 or 3 hours every week. We drink our coffee, our hair's messed up, he's sometimes sweaty after his workout, a lot of times sweaty after his workout. We eat, blow our nose, everything, just talk like we're sitting across the table from a friend, and we have our meeting and we've been talking about this. And what is the message that we want to bring to you and to deliver it in the best way possible? And I told Fitz, like, okay, by the way, I call him Fitz, so let's just get that out there, Doug Fitzgerald, and it just sticks, and I should try to remember Doug, but I never do, so let's just put it out there and then I don't have to try and remember. So I said to Fitz, to me it's like a patchwork quilt. It makes me think of this quilt that my grandmother made me. And it's like every experience of your life. Sometimes the stitching is ragged, or sometimes the edges don't match up and it's not even and it's misshapen, but it's what makes you you. You are a patchwork quilt of all of the experiences, both good and bad, painful, and the things that you're so proud of and excited for and thankful for. That's you. And he said, that is so weird. It made me, as you were saying, as we were talking, I was thinking about my quilt that my grandmother made for me. And so I said, you know, let's bring those quilts. And so, okay.
Whose is bigger?
Okay, first of all, this is no less special to me than this fancy little thing over there. This quilt my grandmother made for me. She's passed away for a couple years now, my mom's mom. My grandma had 9 kids. Well, she had 12. 3 passed away or 3 miscarried. She always wanted an even dozen. She ended up with 9. My mom was number 3, first daughter. And she made the deal that with all of her kids, that with every kid that they had, she was gonna make them a quilt. And so this is my quilt, and I'll show you the back side. Let me tell you a little bit about my grandmother. See how it's uneven? I love that. Because it's uneven and it's crooked, and sometimes I stare at it and my eyes try to make why this doesn't really go all the way to here. I don't know what she was thinking. But you know what? My grandmother was born in Yugoslavia. My mom was, and my grandfather was too. My mom was a first-generation American. And when they came here, they were coming for the dream. And my grandmother's mom died when she was 3 years old. And the only memory she said that she has is of brushing her long, dark hair as a little 3-year-old girl as she was dying. That would be their moment while she'd sit there and brush her hair. And she knew then that she wanted to have a big family and be a part of something that she wanted to create, because her dad never remarried, and he died when she was like 16 or 18. And she knew that she wanted to have a family, because that's what she always craved. So when she had 9 kids, and I was one of her grandchildren, my grandparents were married 72 years. Is that a legacy or what? 9 kids, and when they each passed away within a couple years of one another, they had at the time 101 descendants.
Wow.
How awesome is that? That's my history. I mean, that's kind of cool. The pressure is on for my marriage to make it. But they had 101, and she made this for all of her kids as kids. And then even my kids have by the time they got to grandkids and great-grandkids, she would buy a big piece of flannel and then crochet around the edge. So even my kids, her great-grandchildren, they have one. But she was frugal, and they were dirt poor. Dirt poor. And every little piece of cloth, they didn't give stuff away to charity when they outgrew it. She cut it and would have stacks and stacks of flannels and felts around her house. And she was always working on a blanket, not only for her grandkids, but her arms held babies after baby after baby. She worked with the poor kids. There was I can't remember what the organization is called. I should have looked it up before I came on stage and mentioned it. But she would go and she would watch kids in the day and babysit kids who either didn't have a mom, tapping into her not having a mom, or they were so poor, way back when even, the moms and dads worked like in the field because they lived in a small community. And she just loved on kids and gave them what she always craved that she had for her. And so these quilts are really like, it's really like wrapping up in a hug from my grandma, but it also represents, our life doesn't match. This leopard doesn't really go with this cute little baby print and the snowflakes and the Christmas, but on this one right here, oh darn it, what the heck? Okay, there are only 4 corners, okay. And you think I have a big one. She embroidered my name, Traci. This is mine. It's little, but it's mine, and it was stitched by her hands. And it stood the test of time. I'm 42 years old, and this baby blanket has held up through me growing up and my girls wrapping up their little dollies in it. And this blanket, though it is a bunch of mismatched pieces, and some of them are radically different shapes than the others, and in the back there's no rhyme nor reason, and there's some stains. That's kind of like our lives, isn't it? Where we just have stuff that doesn't go together. You might have a little wild streak, and then on the other side you're a real rule follower, and then there's stuff you're totally ashamed of, but there's stuff you're proud of, and there's the part of you that feels like trash at times, and there's the part of you that feels like you know you're made for something more, and all those parts make up one irregular shaped you. And that's kind of who we all are, and that's really what we want to tap in today, is not cutting off and forgetting those parts, but really embracing that pieced all together, you become a patchwork. It really becomes like a hug to somebody else. You can be that warmth and that love and that gentleness and caring part to somebody else, as misshapen and mismatched as you may be. There's my quilt.
First of all, it takes a real man to stand up here with a quilt. was thinking about this.
Yes.
This is kind of weird, but it's good. This is my quilt. The story of my family is very similar to Traci's. Every time we talk, as a matter of fact, the last you spoke at the one before, we have family in Arkansas too. That's where my grandpa came from.
So
Crazy.
weird.
How weird, how close everything is. But
Yeah.
our tradition is this. My grandparents, very similar to Traci's, lived to be in their 90s before they passed away. Married for, I think, around 70 plus years as well. Left a true legacy of what it meant to have family, and care for family, and provide for family. And our tradition in our family was every grandchild, which there were 9 of us, every grandchild received a quilt exactly, well, not exactly like this, but like this when we graduated from high school. So it was kind of that passing on of who we are as a family into the future. And so what my grandmother did is she made us clothing, our whole family clothing as we grew up. Now my grandmother, I wish I had a picture, but she was a prim and proper woman, always dressed to the hilt, taking care of her husband, her family, and it was really fun to watch. But she would then sew for us throughout the years clothing. She kept the excess material of that, and that's what she made these quilts out of. So as I look at each of these quilts, I can tell you whose garment it was that she made out of this. It's really weird. Some of them bring good memories to me. Some of them bring really bad memories to be honest with you. We're going to talk about some of that, but see this piece of material right here? Can we get a close-up on that? Is that? Now, see that right there? My grandmother made me pants when I was in grade school.
Oh, yeah.
I even have a picture of it, but I did not bring the picture. So, I didn't want to get it on Facebook. But that's.
But if you message Tammy, she'll send it to you. She'll Facebook it, Instagram.
But this is special to me. I cherish this. It brings back the memories. We have had great memories in our family. She's gonna fold this up. Last time, she wanted to fold it up. I said, no, just throw it over there. I wanted up and threw it over, and then in the middle of when I was talking, she's folding it up real nice. I'll let her fold it.
Okay, great. Yeah.
See, she's all beautiful.
You
She's like, Tammy.
Yes.
But those memories that are in that quilt, the good memories and the bad ones, I wouldn't get rid of the bad ones for the life of me. Because it's those painful memories that really challenge us to move on if we embrace them and use them to help serve other people as we become transparent with them. A lot of times we go through struggles in our life and we think we're the only ones. And so we hide from that and we're embarrassed from that, but the reality is you're not the only one. And when you start opening up and working through those things, you can help serve people. You can help heal people. You can be a benefit in their life, but you got to take that step. And we're going to talk about how you use those memories throughout this presentation to really not only enhance your life, but in the end, enhance the business that you're providing to serve other people.
So these are the 4 points that we're going to hit on. Knowing your past and how it can help you succeed in the future. You can either take a screenshot of it, or I'll try and talk a little bit slow, but we're going to be breaking these down so you see these points again. Identifying the true issues that are holding you back from success, whatever success might be. We aren't talking about bulging pockets of money. We're talking about a successful life lived. Learn how transparency can attract others to you for success, and find out the formula that successful people use to succeed in various aspects of life. That's a lot of success. Let's break that down and make it really human. Knowing your past and how it can help you succeed in the future. There is power in your pain. It's important that we turn and face what we have been running from. What you may have been running from and shove deep down and pretend it doesn't exist and try and move past it and try and move past it. It's like putting a big boulder in front of you and trying to get by, and you can't get over it and you can't get around it, and you spend all this frustrating time slamming into that rock, that painful thing that you just need to deal with. And it's different for every person. But learning to face it and acknowledge it actually opens up an opportunity for you to relate to other people who feel the same way. Because don't we all feel like everyone's got it together but us? Even like today, you might look up at us and we're kind of dressed up a little bit, but this isn't really how. I usually have my hair pinned back like this, and usually I have makeup on, but I'm wearing like a sweatshirt and big soccer shorts and tennies or whatever. We're real. I thought about wearing that on stage, to be totally honest, and then I thought like, oh, I'll be the one person who's dressed like, you know, I always seem to be the person who's way underdressed. But there is a part of what we're going to be sharing is when you deal with something that is just real. You come here and you see the people who are speaking on stage and you see the different titles that we carry. But you know what, if you were to write down things in your life that you've done, and I challenge you to kind of do this. When you go back by yourself, try and highlight all of the best things, the highlights of your life and the things that you've done. And see, you can make it look pretty good on paper. So when Kobe invites us up here and he highlights all the things that we've won or the things that we've done, it just looks so good. But I think what it does is it makes this huge ditch between you and us, because it makes it sound like, and look at how they have reached it. And the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of things we struggle with and are struggling with, and we feel so detached from titles because we're just living life like you live life. And sometimes I don't walk around saying, kids, could you do the dishes? Remember, I'm humanitarian. Although I could try it. I might be trying it tomorrow. My daughters are here. I just try. Truth of the matter is, a lot of times I feel like I fail in a lot of areas. And you're going to hear a little bit of why I have that inner struggle. But I spread myself so thin because I love to do it all. One of my things my husband says to me all the time is, babe, you can't do everything. You probably could do a lot of stuff, more than I ever could, because he likes to take a few things and do them well. I like to try everything. And then consequently, I feel a little bit like I don't really master anything, or that I don't do anything really well. I have a lot of kids, but am I a super great mom? I don't really feel like I am. I love my kids, but there's a lot of things that I feel like I struggle with. Let me tell you a little bit about me, and I'll hit on remembering your mentors. My mentors are my family. This is my immediate family. That's my parents and my brothers and sisters and our spouses and all of our kids. We number 36 now. The first great-grandchild was born just last week. There were 5 of us. I'm number 4 in that lineup. They are my mentors. They're a huge piece of why I am the way I am today. And I'll break it down a little bit so you understand why. But my grandparents, who had 101 descendants, now have probably, they've passed away, but we're now close numbering up to 150 of us just the last few years. When you get that many, they just add a few and suddenly we multiply and we're like rats or something, bunnies. My family is a huge part of who I am. I grew up going to family reunions, and we'd come from all over the country. All my 9 aunts and uncles all, got married, and some of them got divorced, and some of them didn't really marry, but they had significant others for long periods of time and all that kind of stuff. But we'd come back together, and that family reunion was so fun, some of my best memories. And that might feel a little bit to you, and like, I'm so glad for my grandmother that she had that, growing up with nobody, really, but a dad, and missing her mom, and wishing she had siblings, to now she created all this. But the reality is, again, in a picture it looks so good, but when you break down those 101 descendants, now almost 150, there's a lot of pain, and divorce, and abuse, substance abuse, people who just aren't even talking to the rest of the family right now. Does that sound a little bit like your family? I'm not asking you to raise your hand. But I hope that you can connect a little bit and go, yeah, now that sounds like my family. We don't have no 101, we've got like 6, and we barely can stand one another. But that's some people's story. My story is a little bit different. But what I had to learn was finding my way in this world based on everything that I saw. I saw a lot of hurt and pain. There is still, to this day, a lot of things. We've had people in and out of prison in our family out of those members.